Great to have you here. My name is Thomas Bowe, and I'm going to be your instructor for this class. Welcome to the Animation Academy, everybody. Standing at the top of the stairs over here is the amazing artist known as Emily, and you're in luck because Emily's here to help you out. If you break your pencil or it disappears under the seat, anything should arise at all that you need help with, for goodness sakes, don't climb over your neighbors. Just go like this, Emily, and she will get to you, and she will get you what you need, and she will show you the exit, just in case you have a potty emergency or a churro emergency. Just go back up the stairs, give one of those three doors a good hard push, just like Emily is demonstrating, and that's where all the goodies are. All right, who's never been here before? Wow, quite a few of you. It's great to have you here, and great to have the alumni back. This is a rough sketching class, and that means that we're going to draw this character the way that Disney artists have been drawing him for many years. They start out with a very basic shape, and then they build and carve out of that shape until they've got what they want. And in our case, we're going to do it without an eraser. See that? That means that when you start to draw lightly. Because if you make a mistake, you won't be able to erase it. I do this all the time. But I have learned to draw very, very lightly, because that way, if I do something I don't like, I can just lightly correct it. And then, once I've got all the lines where I like them, I'm going to darken it in, or lock it in, as we like to say. And by the end of it, we're going to have a wonderful drawing of one of the greatest characters. You know, actually, this guy is in contention for the most popular Disney character of all time. Okay? So he's giving Mickey Mouse a run for his money. His name is Donald Fauntleroy Duck. And yes, I will explain that weird middle name as we go along. But let's start by finding the middle of our page. Now, I always like to take my finger and go, it's right about here. Just kind of guess, and then put a little belly button that you can just barely see. That's going to help you get things right in the center where they need to be. Now, we're going to start with the circle. I'm going to show you guys my secret method. Put your hand up. Lock your wrist. When you draw a circle, let your shoulder roll around. You're going to get a nice smooth circle. On that great big piece of paper you have, you can make this circle at least the size of a baseball or even bigger. Now let's see. His hat's going to go up here. So I'm going to put my circle right about here. Lots of room for the hat above it. You can see how I'm just butterfly kissing that paper. I am not pushing real hard with my pencil. And I'm just rolling around. I've got some lines that I don't think look so good, and some that I think look real good. And it's the real good ones that I'm going to build on. Now we need to put down some guidelines. They're a map that's going to show us where Donald's eyes, nose, and everything goes. And this does get a little tricky. So if moms or dads need to help the kids, please do. I think that's a really good idea. Because we got to get a straight line going right through the middle of that circle, from top to bottom. And we're going to put another line going across, but this one's not going to go right through the middle. It's going to go about a quarter of the way up from the bottom. So right about here, look at how much circle I have left under this line, and that's where you want to put it. Now, as strange as it may seem, we're not going to draw in his bill first, or his eyes first. We're going to draw in just the corners of his smile first. Let's go right here to where this line meets this circle. And I'm going to draw a little letter J right here, okay? And then a backwards one right here. You can see it's just crossing over that line that we just drew going across. I'm going to put 2 tick marks down, okay? Just little markers. And I want them to be even with the bottom of my circle. So right there under that J, and right there under that J. Now I'm going to put a little hill from this dot to that dot, and I'm going to shave off the bottom of my circle just a little bit as I go from here to there. We're building his duck bill here. There we go. To show that that duck bill has some width to it, some thickness, I'm going to go right underneath this line, and I'm going to draw a smaller hill right here. Now we're going to turn those J's into S's and watch what happens. I'm just going to bring it out and bring it down. And I'm going to bring this one out and bring it down like that. Now I think you can start to maybe see Donald's duck bill. There we go. Let's get that locked in. That's a permanent part of my drawing of old Donald. There we go. Let's get this one locked in over here too. Okay? Now, getting back up here to the corners of his smile. His smile is real big. And when a Disney character, or any character usually, will smile real big, you'll get these little rainbows at the top corners of their smile. These are smile lines pushing up their cheeks. And so now you're going, well, where's his cheeks? Right here. You're just going to turn the letter U upside down over the corner of his smile, just like this. There's cheek number one. Let's do it over here too. Okay. Now, to show that he is thrilled to have you here with us today, we're going to open his mouth up into what we call a laughing smile. So first of all, I'm going to get my head back into light and loose mode. I've been darkening in a lot of lines. I want this line to be very light. I'm going to go to the side of this cheek and very lightly pull down the line like that, and go to this cheek and pull down a line like that. Now I'm looking at that center guideline and I'm going, hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty even on both sides. Well done, you. But it's not done completely because I have to join those two lines together with a nice curve at the bottom. Now that just looks like a big long chin on this guy. Okay? But we'll change that by doing what we just did, but this time we're going to start at the corner of his smile and bring down two lines. This one too. And when we join those together, his mouth is open. And now that it is open, I'm going to lock it on in, and we'll add a little detail to the inside of it. Now I believe I told you that this duck's name is Donald Fauntleroy Duck. That is his middle name. Now, the Fauntleroy comes from the little outfit that he wears. That little sailor suit has a technical name. It's called a Fauntleroy. And when Donald Duck was very young in the 1940s, he was a great American, and when Uncle Sam needed his help, he went willingly into the U.S. Army. We actually see a cartoon called Donald Gets Drafted from 1940. And you see his draft notice and it says, Donald Fauntleroy Duck is to report for duty. So that's how we know that his middle name is the same as the outfit he wears. Now you got that center guideline, and it's going to help you add one very important detail. His tongue. It's just a little letter V with curved sides coming right down on that line. Okay, I don't know if the Incredicoaster is still closed. It's been closed for a while, but you know what? I hate to have you guys be disappointed. So let's go on a roller coaster ride right now. We're going to go down this hill, we're going to go up a hill, and we're going to go down the hill, and we're going to go up a hill. Just like that. There we go, and now we've got the top of Donald Duck's bill. That looks pretty good. I'm going to get that locked on in. There we are. Drawing is like building a puzzle. It's finding the shapes in the way that the character is and putting those shapes together just like a puzzle, making them fit and deciphering the shapes. So I always look at that line and I go, it's kind of like a roller coaster track. Now, his eyes are like goose eggs, and we have created wonderful pockets right here and here to put those goose eggs in. Very lightly, I'm going to go right up against his cheek and bring up a big curve that goes how high in his head? I'd say about that high. See, there's the top of it. I'm going to turn around and put this big goose egg right there in that nest. That looks pretty good. I'll get that drawn in a little bit heavier, but we got to do that again on the other side of that line. So I know that's as close to that line as that. I want that to be about that far from it. But let's bring up that big curve right up against his cheek. How high is it? About that high. And then it turns around and it fits nicely into this nest over here. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and lock in and clean those lines up. Donald Duck is so popular now. I mentioned that too, that he may even be more popular than that mouse. And a lot of people are really shocked when you say that, but there's a lot of history that supports that. Because once upon a time, way back in the 30s and 40s, there was a greater demand from the public and from theater owners for Donald Duck cartoons than there was for Mickey Mouse cartoons. Mr. Disney would get a lot of letters and requests for more Donald Duck, more Donald Duck. And Walt himself actually addressed this rather odd situation by saying, well, it makes perfect sense. Mickey Mouse is who we all want to be, but Donald Duck is who we really are. All right. He's going to look a little more like we really are when he has some pupils. And I'm going to put two ovals right down here, and I want you to notice, can you see that my pencil is going completely around as I do this? That's real important, because if you come up against a side and you just draw a half a circle, they look cross-eyed, so don't do it. I don't want it to look like, Daisy got mad at him and hit him over the head with a frying pan or something, which is not too far out of the realm of possibility. Let's go ahead and draw this one in too. Pencil going completely around. I'm going to get those nice looking pupils and make them as dark as you can. Here's where you really want to bear down on that pencil so that the eyes, the most important feature on your character, really do stand out. Okay, I'm just going to build up the top of those eyes just a little bit, a little bit heavier. We'll call that a lash line there. Just a little bit more weight on the top. Okay, this next step is called following the studied line. I learned this from another artist that I used to work with here. One day he would always say, follow the studied line. Look at this and draw it again a little bit higher. I'd never heard that term before, but he said, yeah, that's something that you learn in art classes. Follow the studied line. And look at that, we got a nice eyebrow. It's a little lower on the outside, a little higher on the inside. But I'm just drawing that curve below it and a little higher. And I'll do the same thing over this side too. So he has a matching set. Yeah! I think I'm getting a positive reaction there. I'll take that for a big thumbs up. Now, he's pretty cheeky, as you well know, so I'm going to give him a little more cheek just by putting a little curve over each one. And then I'll choose a line to join the brow to the cheek. I choose you. And on the other side, this one. And we're going to give him a little tuft of hair on top of his head. It's 3 shark fins. 1. This one kind of leans over a little bit. 2. And then baby shark. Just like that. There we go. Now, I mentioned the hat, I mentioned the suit, Fauntleroy or sailor suit, right? That's how we mostly recognize it. But we're going to draw in the hat, and it's going to start right here on this eyebrow. I'm going to bring up a line that leans a little towards those shark fins, just a wee bit, and when it's just a little higher than that shark there, I'm going to jump the shark and go to the other eyebrow. There we go. Here we are. I'm going to shade this area in, just to give it a little bit of depth. No, not depth. Color. Getting that confused with another step. There we go. It's that color. The hat itself always sits at that very jaunty, angle. It's always higher on this end, lower over here. But it starts right at the bottom of that hat band, right here. And I'm going to bring a big letter C up and back over this eyebrow. So I want it to end right about there. And I'll do that very lightly. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. Locked on in. Yeah. There we are. Donald was so important and so beloved that when the United States government came to Walt Disney and said, Walt, we need you to go on a goodwill trip to South America. We need to make sure that the very tumultuous time that we were going through during World War II, that South America was with us. And so Walt went down to South America, visited all of the beautiful countries there, and took a lot of his best artists with him, including Mary Blair and the great Frank Thomas. And they came back with all these wonderful drawings and lots of great ideas, which they turned into a couple of films called Saludos Amigos and The Three Caballeros. And in The Three Caballeros, Donald meets two wonderful characters, a parrot from Brazil named Jose Carioca. Now I'm going to draw forwards, letter C, going from here to this brow, there, where the brow meets the side of his face. Jose Carioca from Brazil, who was really good at dancing the samba, and Panchito, a very, very lively rooster from Mexico. And together they made this incredible trio known as the Three Caballeros. Now we're going to draw in, last but not least, that iconic ribbon that hangs off the low end of his hand. And I never really thought about it before, but when I started drawing him, I realized it's just a big stretched out letter W. So that's all you got to do. Just stretch out a letter W, attach it to the lower end of that hat, shade it on in, and once you have done that, you've finished your drawing of, dare I say, the most popular character in the history of Disney, Donald Fauntleroy Duck. There are more Donald Duck cartoons than any other character, and he was already very popular in comic books, like these. One of the biggest selling characters in the history of comic books as well. Don't forget to sign your duck, though. 2025. How did I do on time? Ran a little long, we usually do. But did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Did you learn some really cool stuff about this really amazing character? And then maybe you'll come back and join us for another class a little later on today. But I gotta take this guy and duck on out of here, pardon the pun. And until we do see you back here again, this class is dismissed. Have a great day, everyone.
Alright, how about a nice big round of applause for your amazing artist, Thomas Bow. Thank you, Thomas. Alrighty, folks, like Thomas said, your class is dismissed. Thank you so much for drawing an awesome animated character like Donald Duck here. Your exit doors are on your left-hand side. The same three doors you enter through. As you stand up, folks, please place the artboard back against the seat. Pencil snug like a bug into the spring so we can reload and reset. If you want a place to continue to draw, go to the Sorcerer's Workshop